So, the Zelda series has been known to have many iconic weapons and items that span throughout its long history. Some making return appearances throughout the games, sometimes as a similar item that has the same type of function, and sometimes as the exact same artifact that was once wielded by a hero from an age long since past. The most iconic Zelda artifact that's immediately associated with the Legend of Zelda is the Master Sword, the Blade of Evil's Bane, which has time and time again been one of the only weapons powerful enough to aid Link in defeating Ganon, or the current Demon King that threatens Hyrule. Not only is it the most reoccurring weapon throughout the series, but it's often described as the most powerful, and the only blade that can harm a Demon King as powerful as Ganon. Link has wielded many powerful blades in the series, such as the Magical Sword from the NES Zeldas, the Big Goron Sword, the Great Fairy Sword, and the Gilded Sword, just to name a few. But there is another reoccurring sword that seems to be sacred, and that has slayed other powerful demonic entities, including Vaati and Ganon himself, called the Four Sword. The Four Sword has appeared in 3 different Zelda titles: Four Swords Adventure, and the Minish Cap, taking down the evil Vaati no less than 3 times. From his beginnings as a Minish wind sorcerer, to later ages after he's transformed into a monstrous demon. The Four Swords also helped eliminate an unknown threat that the Hero of Men defeated, described in the backstory of the Minish Cap. The Four Sword even defeated Vaati and Ganon back-to-back in Four Swords Adventure. So I think it's safe to say that the Four Sword is at least the second most powerful blade in the Zelda series. Lore-wise anyway. Here's the thing though. In many different titles, when describing the Master Sword, its role, its power, and its destiny, it's often led to believe it is the only sword that is powerful enough to defeat malevolent threats such as Ganon or other demonic entities that relish in evil ambition. So, how is it the Four Sword has been victorious against demonic overlords on more than one occasion, including Ganon himself? It has demonstrated that it shares some similar abilities with the sword that seals the darkness, the Master Sword. Well, I have a theory about these 2 sacred swords that may give us an explanation, but for that we have to go way back to the origin of the Blade of Evil's Bane. Skyward Sword tells the tale of the origins of the eternal cycle of good and evil, which normally takes the form of the Zelda, Link, and Ganon trio, as well as the forging of the Master Sword. The Blade of Evil's Bane started out as the Goddess Sword, a blade forged by the goddess Hylia, which Link wields during the start of his adventure in Skyward Sword. While trying to save Zelda, Link endures several trials while forging himself into a hero, who also forges the Goddess Sword into the Master Sword, with the power of the 3 sacred flames, and after traveling into the distant past, also gets the blessing of Zelda, the goddess Hylia incarnate. Now, after Link forges the qualities of courage, wisdom, and power into himself, Link is able to wield the Triforce. So after locating the Triforce back in the present on Skyloft, he uses it to wish the destruction of Demise, and the whole island in the sky plunges back down to the surface just as the imprisoned, Demise in a lesser form, is escaping his seal, and crushes him, utterly destroying the Demon King completely. Link then reunites with Zelda, and gathered with his friends that have helped him along his journey, and all seems well. Until Girahim appears, suddenly kidnapping Zelda and taking her back to the distant past to revive his master Demise with her divine essence in a time where he still exists. Link then follows Girahim to stop him, but it's too late. Girahim successfully revived his master in his true form, as the Demon King. Link then confronts Demise and ensues in an epic battle for the future of the world, Hylian versus godlike demon, and is eventually victorious, defeating Demise and absorbing his essence into the Master Sword. He then leaves the Master Sword in a pedestal in the past as he returns to the present. When he returns, everything is as it was, just as he left. Skyloft on the surface, his friends in the Triforce are safe, and the Master Sword is there in the pedestal. But to understand this theory, you have to understand that this doesn't work. This time travel is just impossible. And paradoxical. Much like the sequence where Link learns the Song of Storms, but much more confusing. It makes no sense that Link can go back in time and defeat Demise and the future isn't drastically changed, or this change of events doesn't make an alternate timeline, which it doesn't, per the official Zelda timeline. Plus the fact that the Master Sword is still in the same place where Link left it in the distant past. Zeltic made a whole video explaining in detail why this is impossible, in so many different ways, but that's a whole nother video's worth of content. So I'll link the video right here, and I'll sum it up like this. If Demise was destroyed in the distant past, then there would have been no one imprisoned in the future, and the whole journey that Link went on would have never happened. Skyloft would still be in the sky, the Triforce still hidden on Skyloft, and the Master Sword not forged into the Goddess Sword, and on and on and on. But when Link returns, all these things have still happened, even though Demise has now been destroyed for millennia, as well as the past being changed per Demise dissolving in the Master Sword for thousands of years and still in the pedestal where Link left it. But I have a theory about how and why this is possible. Fi describes Demise as a being who conquered time itself, maybe implying that the Demon King's magic breaks and bends the laws of time. So maybe because Demise's magic that defies the rules of time and space was absorbed into the Master Sword, and Link left this time-defying object behind in the past, before he traveled through the gate of time to the present, the Master Sword could have broke through the space-time continuum barrier and merged the timelines together, having things changed and stayed the same at the same time. This may be one of the reasons the Master Sword has time powers in Ocarina of Time in the first place. Either that, or if the Master Sword's time manipulation powers have no correlation with Demise being inside of it, then possibly the time powers the Master Sword has, combined with the time-bending magic of the demon decaying inside, is the reason that the past can change the future, while prior events that had happened before the future was changed still remain the same. I know it's confusing. Which leads me to my theory about the Four Sword. If things changed and stayed the same, which is exactly what happens, the Goddess Sword would never have been forged into the Master Sword and would still be in the sky after all these events, while the God-powered Master Sword is now on the surface. And in the intro to the Minish cap, it is said that the Minish brought down a blade to help the hero of men fight an evil threat in its origin. And if you look at the images in the intro sequence, it does resemble a version of the Master Sword. Furthermore, in other pictures of the Four Sword, it highly resembles the Goddess Sword, and they both have displayed similar powers, like sealing demons, and have both defeated a version of Ganon. They do have some completely different abilities, but both of their final forms were forged differently. The Master Sword is bathed in the sacred flames of the gods and blessed by the goddess Hylia, while the Four Sword, which was brought from the heavens by the Minish, who undoubtedly imbued their magics upon it, hence I'm calling it the Picori Blade, then Link reforges the sword with the four elements of the world, giving the two swords slightly different powers. Despite starting out as a version of the same sword, one has the powers to manipulate time, and one splits the hero into 4 copies, but they still share some abilities, like maiming evil and sealing demons, and possibly originating from the Goddess Sword.